There we go. Okay, so we'll make a start if you'd like to come into lying down. So just coming into your chosen position. Okay. So as you come into your chosen position, just start to allow your shoulders to spread across the floor or wherever you're lying. And just start to move your head a little from side to side so that you can release your neck. So just very gently allowing your head to let go. And then if you bring your head back to center, just have your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Continue to make any alterations, any adjustments that you need through your body. And then imagine a cool blue light surrounding your body. So from the crown of your head to the tips of your toes. And feel that light widening outwards. So creating an aura of light around you. And feel it pulsating with life and energy. And allow that light now to be a healing light. So if you feel in need of healing, either mentally, emotionally, or physically, allow this healing to take place as you relax. And take your attention now to your breath. And allow the belly to slowly rise and fall with each breath, without trying to alter the breath in any way. And we'll just witness the in and out flow, that slow coming and going, the evenness, quiet rhythm of the breath. And allow your body to just be. And be aware of a melting down onto your mat. So you feel quite safe and secure. And feel the colour blue soaking into the body, drenching all of your cells with fresh life force, with energy, with balance. And allow yourself to surrender to the healing. And now take your attention to your feet and allow your toes to spread and separate. And turn the toes inwards and then flex and release. Allowing your instep to let go. Sole of the foot, the ankle, and feel your feet as solid and heavy, as though the feet are moving away from you, dense and heavy. Just allow your feet to relax and let go. You have your legs extended, feel them flopping out to the sides. Allowing your legs to release. Releasing your shins, the calves, the knees, and the kneecap, thighs, and the backs of your thighs. Allowing your legs to release and let go. And feel as though the legs are moving away from you, solid and heavy and dense. And then take your attention to your hands and to the backs of your hands touching the floor, to the fingertips, the fingers and the palms of the hands. And feel softness in the palms of the hands. And allow the lower arm to let go, the elbow, the upper arm, the whole of the arm releasing down, moving away. And then take your attention to the back and feel the vertebra releasing from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. Visualize each vertebra letting go, releasing onto the mat. And feel the whole of the back now spreading outwards. Feel the back widen, and at the same time feel the back lengthen. So feeling that stretch and the whole of the back spreading across the floor. And be aware of the amount of space that you're taking up. Just allowing the body to become more spacious. And then take your visualization to your belly. Be aware of the softness in the belly, the slow, steady breath, the calm, quiet coming and going of the breath. And witness the rhythm, the separation of the breath, pause and the still point. And feel as if the whole body is breathing, that the breath is breathing the body. Allow the abdomen to let go and feel the softness in the belly, allowing the chest center to open out on each inhale. And feel the division of the breath. Allow this openness to create a space within your chest center, allowing you freedom to breathe mentally and physically. And allow this freedom to open out your heart center, creating a releasement here, allowing this center to be filled with peace. And feel that openness now spreading to your throat, to release your voice, and to move around the neck, and to the back of your head, and the crown of your head, and the scalp, and the space between your scalp and the skull, and the hairs on your head. As you allow your face to let go and soften, lower jaw is slightly dropping, and feel your entire face release. Forehead, the eyes, the eyebrows, the eyelids, relaxing into pools of darkness. Temples, the nose, the tip of the nose, cheeks, the cheekbones, the upper lip and lower lip, the jaw and the hinges of the jaw, the chin, even the ears and the earlobes. And feel your whole body release, sinking down onto your mat, so that all you're aware of is the steady breath and the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe, moving in and out, the stillness. Just allowing that breath to become a little slower, a little deeper. Feel the limbs heavy, relaxing into the support of your mat, fully supported. The breath is generous and silky, easy and regular with no strain. Just this sense of flowing with the rhythm of air and lungs. And take a little time to enjoy that physical experience. And now just imagine that every breath expands your heart outwards, so that progressively the heart center is expanding according to your breathing. And at the same time, see your breath as sparkling, clear, light energy, so that the heart space is becoming filled with more and more light. And continue feeling a sense of expansion and inner peace and light. And then inhale peace and calm and relaxation. Exhale and surrender to this moment. And then we'll just start to stretch out through the body now. So just taking your time with your stretches. So stretching out in whatever way feels good. And as you stretch out, I just want to read you. It's a really short quote from The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. And it says, aim to be you. If you aim to be something you're not, you will always fail. Aim to be you. Aim to look and act and think like you. Embrace that you-ness. Endorse it. Cherish it. Love it. And don't care at all if people mock you for it. And just one more, and it's called Cup. It says you have no control over who people think you are. So don't worry. If they want to hate a fictional version of you that lives in their minds, let them. Don't drain yourself trying to be understood by people who insist on not understanding you. Keep your cup full. Go to kindness. So the next time that your arms come back alongside your body now, we're going to just start to slowly gather the knees in. So hugging the knees back towards you. And then just drop the soles of the feet to the floor. Going to bring the arms alongside the body. And then we'll begin with the pelvic tilt to ease the lower back. So just start to flatten your lower back into the mat as you exhale, drawing the navel back towards the spine. And on the inhale, just allow the pelvis to float away from you a little till you feel the curve come into the lower spine. And then continue with that gentle undulation. So you're just floating the pelvis forwards and back with the breath. Stay with that fluidity and flow, moving slowly with the breath. Finding that gentle, tidal rhythm of the breath. And then coming back to stillness. Have your feet at least hip width apart. And then push your left hip into the floor as you start to lift up through your right. Just a small movement. Keep the knees as still as you can. And then push your right hip into the floor as you start to lift up through your left. And then continue in that way, synchronizing the breath with the movement. So with the pelvic tilt, we've got that horizontal, that vertical flow, I should say. And with this movement, you've got that horizontal flow from side to side. So just make sure that your feet are wide enough so that you can feel that across your sacrum. So gently easing out through your lower back. And then if you come back to center, this time just visualize a clock face beneath your pelvis. And then guide your pelvis around the clock face. So let your abdominal muscles guide the movement. As if you're visiting each number on that clock face. It's moving slowly and smoothly. So this time you're getting a circular massage through your lower back. Again, just have a good space between the feet. Give yourself more spaciousness for the massage. And you can take half a circle on the inhale and half a circle on the exhale if that works with your breath. Knees will roll a little bit more this one. And then if you take those circles the other way, the way you started out, reversing that circle. And then coming back to center. See how your lower back feels now. And then we're going to lift the toes, so pull the toes back towards you. And then bring the sole of the foot back to the floor and then lift the heel so the toes are pointing down into the mat. And then alternate between those two movements. So come back to lifting the toes, pulling the toes back towards you. And then dropping the soles of the feet back to the floor and then lifting up through the heel. And again, just synchronize the breath with the movement. So working into the feet, working into the ankles. So quite often we'll take these movements from a seated position, which is just doing it from a semi-supine position. So pronation and supination. And then just bring the feet to rest. And then if you focus just on your right foot, going to lift the inside of the foot and then roll through and lift the outside of the foot. So the knee will roll quite a bit as well. So you're lifting the inside of the foot and then you're lifting the outside of the foot. And just continue in that way, just allowing the knee to roll a little bit with the movement. And again, you can synchronize breath with the movement. Try to do it without tensing the foot. we don't tend to do this one so often, so we find it a little bit more tricky because we don't practice it so much. And you're working into the foot and the ankle, and then still staying on that right side, right foot. Try to do it, but this time without moving the knee. So there'll be a little bit of knee movement, but try to keep the knee as still as you can. So you're working more just from the ankle. So you're lifting the inside of the foot and then lifting the outside of the foot. And again, try to relax the foot as much as you can as you do this, so that you're not putting cramp into the foot by tensing. A little bit tricky. And then releasing. And then on this same side, so still staying with your right side, your right leg, you're going to now allow that right knee to roll out to the side as you exhale, and then bring the knee into the upright position as you inhale. And just continue with that movement. If you want to try something a little bit different as we do this, you can tuck your right foot behind your left heel and then slide the knee back into the upright position. And then as you roll that right knee out to the side, you can tuck that right foot behind your left heel and then roll back into the upright position. So you can either try that slight modification, or you can simply, from having the sole of the foot on the mat, just roll the knee out to the side and then bring it back into the upright position, synchronizing with the breath. So whichever variation you'd like to work with. Open it through your hip, your inner thigh and groin. And then this time, so you're bringing that right knee into the upright position. And then we'll switch to the left foot. So on this left side, start off lifting the inside of the foot and then lifting the outside of the foot. And first of all, just allow that knee to roll freely with the movement. So you're lifting inside of the foot and then lifting outside of the foot. Knees rolling quite a bit with that movement. Synchronize the breath, movement. And then this time, if you leave the knee in an upright position, and then try to take those movements, but more from just the ankle, so that you're keeping the knee as still as you can, lifting the inside of the foot, and then you're lifting the outside of the foot. Again, you can synchronize the breath with the movement. Try to have the foot quite soft and passive, so you're not putting tension through the foot. Surprisingly hard work. Movement. Really good for the feet, for the ankles. Inversion and eversion. And then the next one, if you come back to stillness again, you can either on the exhale roll the left knee out to the left, and then on the inhale bring the knee back to center, or you can tuck that left foot behind your right heel and then roll the knee out in that way, and then slide that knee back into the upright position. And again, just so it's as if you're threading the foot behind the opposite heel as you roll the knee out and then roll the knee back into the upright position. So whichever variation you practice, just try to find a nice, smooth flow. If you're doing the threading, you might just want to walk that right foot out a little bit more, just to give you a little bit more space. So again, working into this left hip, left inner thigh, left groin area. So it's like a half Baddha Konasana. And then come back into the upright position. So knee comes back into the upright position. You come back to semi-supine. And then we'll draw both knees in. So hugging both knees back towards you. So finding some symmetry through the body. And then exhale fully here. Bring your head and your knees closer together. And then inhaling, we'll drop the hand, drop the soles of the feet to the floor. And then take a big full body stretch. Stand away through your heels as you reach the arms overhead. And then the arms come back again, just drawing the knees in. And again, we'll exhale fully and bring the head and the knees closer together. Inhaling as the feet come back to the mat. Take a big full body stretch. Just do that once more. So as the arms come back, gather the knees in. And again, see your own breath pattern. Bring head and knees closer together. And then as you release, one more big full body stretch. Just take your time. And then this time, so as your arms come back this time, gather your knees in. And then bring the palms over the knees. Just drop the knees from side to side. So knees move one way, head moves the other. Just taking that gentle rocking. And then you can either continue with that gentle rocking from side to side, or you can come back to center and bring your hands to the backs of your thighs. And you can take a full spinal rock, so rocking into seated and then rolling back along the length of your spine. So whichever variation you'd like to practice, we'll do 6 of those and then we'll come back up. And then once you come back up, just have a little drink if you'd like to. So I've worked into the feet and ankles a little bit. So if you have your legs extended now, and then just if it's comfortable for you, you can come into slightly reclined, resting through the arms into the hands, or you could stay upright. And then we'll take the feet wider and then work into the ankle rotation. So we've really worked the ankles quite well, we've worked the feet well. So releasing any energy blockage around the ankle joints. And then take those circles the other way. And then releasing. And then from that position, if you bring the legs out in front of you, and then take the Take the feet a little bit wider, so maybe about mat width. And again, you can come into a slightly reclined position. So the knees are bent, you're up onto your heels, and you're just resting back into the hands, so through the arms. And then from there, we're going to start to windscreen wiper the legs from side to side. So you're rolling the legs from side to side. You start to release through the hips, starting to release through the lower back. Just rolling from side to side, finding your flow. You can either continue in that way, or you can start to take that a little bit deeper now by taking it into a twist. So whichever variation you prefer. Rolling from side to side, maybe coming into a twist. Starting to release the spine a little bit more. You're working into your side abdominals. Just do one more to each side. And then come back to center. And then as you come back to center, so we'll come into a seated position. You could be cross-legged, or you could come into a different position if you prefer. So you could sit on a chair for this one if you wanted to. Any seated position or a kneeling position would be fine. Just check that your spine is quite upright. And then allow the shoulders to relax. And then if you bring your right arm out in front of you, just turn the palm so the palm's facing upwards. And then just as if you're throwing something over your shoulder. So your hand's just going over the shoulder. And then with the left hand, just start to encourage that elbow to lift. So you start to feel a deeper stretch. And your fingertips can walk down the shoulder blade a little bit more. Just working into that stretch and then release. Take that on the other side. If you stretch your left arm out in front of you and then turn the palm upwards. And again, just as if you're throwing something over your shoulder. And again, with the right hand, just encourage that elbow to lift skyward so you can just stroke upwards. So that you get a deeper stretch. And then reaching that arm out in front of you and then release. And then from there, so with your right arm, we're going to, so keep the palm up. And again, it's as if you're throwing something over the top of your shoulder. And then still with palm up, you're reaching the arm behind you. So it's like a scoop. And the movement, so you're taking that wrist through flexion and extension. And if you release on that right side, so we'll do it on the other side now. So it's a good one for that position on all fours. So it's a good preparation for our cat and our downward facing dog poses without weight bearing. It's good for carpal tunnel. And then just allow shoulders to relax. Just roll the shoulders a little now. And then working into the neck, on the out breath, we start to take left ear towards left shoulder. Just gently releasing. Allowing the right shoulder to relax a little bit more. And then on the inhale, coming back to center. And on the exhale, slowly take your right ear towards your right shoulder, allowing that left shoulder to relax a little bit more. And then inhaling, coming back to center. Just do that once more to each side, to your own breath pattern. Slowly releasing, ear towards the shoulder, just allowing the shoulders to relax. Slowly bringing the head back to center, taking that over to the other side. And then bringing the head back to center. And then from there, if you bring your forearms together, so this is working the wrists again, and just keep forearms together, but peel the palms apart so you're opening. So you're taking the hands again into, or taking the wrists into flexion. So you're inhaling as you peel them apart, and then exhaling as they come back together. Just do a few more rounds of that with the breath. So again, it's good preparation for cat and dog. You're clearing that space around the carpal tunnel. And then this time, if you just interlace the fingers and just start to take some wrist rotations. You've got that nice rotation now through the wrists. And then take that movement the other way. And just relax the arms, relax the shoulders. Touch down on your right side with your right fingertips. And then inhale, start to lift up through that left arm, sliding right hand out to the right, and start to work into our lateral stretches now. And then touching down on the left side with left fingertips, starting to lift up through that right arm. Left hand slides out to the left as you come into that left side bend, opening up the right side. And just gently moving from side to side with the breath. So you're opening up that nice lateral line of energy. Take your time with those. Just doing an equal number on each side, and then releasing. And then as you release, just come back to the neck. So on the inhale, if you take your head around towards your left shoulder, And then on the exhale, bring the head back to center. Inhaling, take the head around towards the right shoulder. Exhale, come back to center. Just do that a couple more times to your own breath pattern. Releasing the neck. And just once more to each side. And then this time, take the nose around in a circle, as if you're tracing around a flat clock face in front of you. So you're not taking the head back, you're just taking the nose in fairly small circles, just tracing a circle. Releasing the neck a little bit more, and then we'll take those circles the other way. And then just slowly coming back to center, releasing, and then opening your eyes if you've had the eyes closed. And then we're going to come up into standing now. So you might want to have a drink again before we can come up into our standing position. So as you come up into standing, just take the feet a little bit wider and soften through the knees a little bit. And then we'll come into a twist. So we'll find a nice free twist around the central axis of the spine. So worked into the arms and the shoulders a little bit. So hopefully the shoulders and the arms will be a little bit more relaxed. Just find that nice twist. And then we'll start to slow that down a little. And then as you come back now, so we're going to use the feet now as if they're on a tightrope, so one in front of the other. So you could just use, depending which way your mat is, you could just use the edge of your mat, or you could just visualize an imaginary line like a tightrope, and then just walk one foot in front of the other. So it's a bit of a balance as well. So you've got one in front of the other. So again, we're working into our feet. So it's good for our balance, it's good for our feet, our ankles. It's also really good for our neurological development, this one. And then from there, so we're going to bring the arms first into that, well, it's cactus position, but so we're using letters, so it could be a W, so W, a T, and a Y shape we're going to come into. So that's your W. And then if you take the arms out to the side, you're coming into your T shape. And then bring the arms overhead, so you're coming into that Y shape. And then as you release, so if you take a step along your tightrope, so bring the other foot in front now, and then come back to So come back to your W, and then come back to your T, and then come back to your Y, and then release. And again, just continue, take that step in front, just as if you're balancing on a beam or a tightrope. And again, we're going to bring the arms into W, and then the T, and then the Y, and then release. And then if you do that again, take another step. At some point, you might have to do a little turnaround on your beam, which might be a little bit more challenging. And again, we're going to do exactly the same. So you're going to come into your W, and then your T, and then your Y. And I'm at the point now where I need to do a little turnaround. And again, take the opposite foot in front. And again, we'll come back to our W and our T and our Y. And then as you release the arms again, take that step forward once more. And just repeat that. Oops, I'm having a wobble. So that you finish. So if you started out with your right foot in front, finish with your left foot in front. Oops, I'm going there. The Y shape. And then release. It's just something that you can practice. It's something a little bit different for our balance. And then if you come as far back as you can, just, you can bring the hands onto the hips, but just take that walk this time, just one foot in front of the other, just as if you're balancing on a beam. And then you can take that turn and then come back as if you're balancing on a beam or on a tightrope, and then take that little turn and then have a little shake out. So shaking out through the hands, shaking out through the legs, through the feet. And then from there, so if you come now, so come towards the back of your mat, we're going to come into Warrior One, and then take a step forward with your right foot, and then start to bend your right knee. So we're going to come into Warrior One legs, and just feel the feet on the mat, and just see if you can be nicely balanced between the four corners of the feet, so creating a nice surface area. And I'm going to bring the arms up into cactus position. So you're in a very gentle, mild back bend. And then if you cross the arms and then drop the chin, so you're slightly rounding. And then that repeats. So you're inhaling as you come back into your cactus. You're finding that gentle back bend. And then exhaling, cross the arms, drop the chin. You can straighten up that front leg this time. So on inhale, you're coming up, finding your cactus position. And on exhale, straightening up through the leg, dropping the chin towards the chest. And then from there, this time, so coming back into that cactus position. And then this time, if you bring the forearms together, and then from here, hinge forward from the hips. So you're creating a nice long diagonal spine. And then inhaling, coming all the way back up. This time, reach the arms overhead. You can either leave the fingertips connecting, or you can bring the arms apart, either looking up or keeping the gaze forwards. And then relax the arms, relax the shoulders. And then we'll take a step forward. So if you step forward with your right foot, so you come back into your mountain pose. I'm just going to walk back a little bit so that you can, I'm still in camera, but you can stay where you are. And then have your feet just about hip width apart. So we're going to do something that's more symmetrical now. And then if you reach the arms overhead, so we're going to come into a little sequence from Utkatasana, the chair pose. And then bring the arms back to shoulder height. So we're going to sit down. So if we're sitting into our chair, take the sit bones back, keep balance between the four corners of the feet, heart shining forward, gaze is forward. And then bring the arms out. So you're bringing the arms out into that T shape. Palms up as they come onto the lower back. Keep the spine long. You might want to sit down a little bit more deeply. And then reach the arms forwards and up, coming up into your tall mountain. And then the option to lift up through the heels. And then release back down. And then from there, so we're going to come back to the sequence that we did on the other side from Warrior One. So I need to take my left foot forward, but you might be able to just step your right foot back. So we've got left leg forward, right leg is back this time. And you're starting to bend through that left knee. So just finding your comfortable position to start out. And then from there again, we're going to bring the arms into that cactus position with the bent knee. And then from there, cross the arms, straighten the leg, and then drop the chin. And again on the inhale, coming back to our cactus, bending that left knee. As you inhale, and then exhale, cross the arms, drop the chin towards the chest as you straighten it through that leg. We'll just do one more in that way. So bending that left knee, opening out into your cactus. And then exhale, crossing the arms, straighten the leg, drop the chin towards the chest. And then this time, as you come back into your cactus, you're bending your left knee. This time, we're going to bring the forearms together and then hinge forward from the hips with a nice long spine until you feel the engagement through the legs. And then coming all the way back up. This time, we're going to find Warrior One pose. Either fingertips together, or you can bring the arms wider apart, looking up or gaze forwards. And then just take your time, relax your arms, relax your shoulders. And then we'll take that step forwards again. And then we'll come back into our chair sequence. And I just need to step back again, but you might not need to step back. So we come back into our mountain pose. And then if you reach the arms overhead again, so breathing in, and then breathing out, bring the arms back to shoulder height, sitting down into, as if you're sitting into your chair. Take your sit bones back, so you might want to sit a little bit more deeply there. Nice and balanced through the four corners of the feet, so try not to rock back into the heels. Just holding that. And then bring the arms wide, so we're coming back into that T shape. And then palms up, hands come up onto the lower back. Might want to sit more deeply, perhaps. And then inhale, reach the arms forwards and overhead. And as you reach the arms overhead into your tall mountain, you've got the option to lift up through the heels. That's lovely. And then release back down. As you release back down, just have a little shake out now through the body, through the hands, through the feet. And then we'll start to shake out through from the wrists through to the hands and the fingers. So working into the wrists a little bit more. And then release. And then so from Warrior 1, we're going to come into Warrior 2. So do have a little drink if you'd like to before we come into that wide leg position. And then we'll take up our wide leg position for Warrior 2. So as you take your legs wider now, start to take the right foot fully right, left heel slightly left, and then we'll start to bend the right knee, just taking care that the knee doesn't creak forward of the ankle joint. So just finding the stability of the knee so that it's tracking up over the second and third toe. And then we're going to bring the palms together. So palms come together, you're just hugging in. And then on the exhale, push the palms away and then start to flatten out through the hand as you come into your traditional Warrior 2 pose, so Virabhadrasana 2. Finding that nice line of energy. And again, head can come back to center, so we hug in, pull the palms together. And then exhaling, pushing out. Find that line of energy again as you look along your right arm towards the fingertips. And then just once more, hugging in. And then extending outwards with the breath. Just thinking about those equilibrium, those balancing points at the center of the balls of the feet, base of the spine, crown of the head, and the center of the palms, helping us to maintain our balance. And then just allow the arms to release and relax. Bring the feet back to center. And then we're going to take exactly the same sequence on the other side. So if you take your left foot fully left now, and your right heel slightly right, bending your left knee. And again, we're going to hug in to bringing the palms together. So inhaling and then exhaling. So find your Warrior 2 pose on the other side, looking along that left arm towards the fingertips, finding that lovely line of energy. And again, hugging in. And then extending outwards. And then just once more again, so hugging inwards. And extending outwards. And again, this time as you hold the pose, again, have that awareness of those equilibrium points, those points of balance beneath the center of the balls of the feet, base of the spine, crown of the head, and the centers of the palms. And then just slowly allow the arms to release. Well, adjust the feet and then start to walk the feet back in with the heel toe. And again, we'll find some symmetry. So we'll come into nice forward bend from here. So have your feet just about hip width apart. And then we'll bring the arms overhead. And just start to bring the forearms together. So you're looking into the palms as you drop down through the elbows, start to hinge forward from the hips as you bend the knees. And then we'll come into a forward fold from here, just allowing the upper body to slowly release. And of course, you can bring your hands onto any part of the legs, or you might have some blocks in place, or you might come towards the feet or to the floor. So just finding your own variation of the pose. And then take a little bit of time to allow the upper body to release fully. So there's absolutely no holding as you come into your forward bend. Let the spine elongate, let the body release with gravity. You can take a little bit of swaying movement. You can release your head and neck a little bit more there. And then we're just going to glide the hands just halfway. So you can start to lift the head a little. Bring the palms over the knees as you lift the halfway. The head is lifting. And then on the exhale again, just slide the hands back over the shins. And then release once more into your dangling forward fold. And you might find that you've deepened a little bit more this time as you release. Take the time there. And again, when you're ready to exit, engage your core muscles. Let's slide the hands slowly back, up the legs. And then this time, just bring the hands over the hips so that you're releasing into a standing backward bend. And then coming back to center. So you're coming back into your mountain pose. And then from mountain, well, we'll make a transition onto our fronts. So again, have a drink if you'd like to before we do that. And then we'll come into a nice prone position on our bellies. So take your time to come down. You can bring the arms forward and you can take the legs wider, bend the knees and just roll around a little bit. Allow your lower back to release, let your hips release a little. Find a nice connection between the front of your body, your belly, your pelvis with the ground. Just a little roll around here. And then, so we're going to come into Shavasana, the snake pose. So just extend the legs out behind you. Have a little gap between the legs. And then for this pose, you can either have the arms alongside the body, or you can interlace the fingers and then draw the arms back so the shoulder blades are pulling together at the back of the body. And then you can tuck your chin in to lengthen the back of your neck. And then skin the nose forward towards the top of your mat as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you're lifting forehead, chin, chest. Draw the arms back. And then you can either maintain that position, or you can start to lift the legs at the same time. And just take some breaths there. And just releasing back down. As you release back down, just bring the arms forwards. Again, just folding the arms in front of you. And then take a moment resting your forehead onto your folded arms. Coming back to your diaphragmatic breath. So focusing, anchoring on your diaphragmatic breath here. So in Shavasana, the snake pose, in the final position, the body weight you'll notice is supported on the abdomen. So in this way, as well as getting the benefits of your back bend, you're pushing the diaphragm towards the chest, and this pressurizes the air within the lungs. And it helps to open out any inactive alveoli, so it improves the removal of carbon dioxide, and it also improves the intake of oxygen. So the heart is toned and strengthened by that massage due to the increased pressure in the chest cavity. So it's quite dual benefit to this pose. And we'll do that again, whichever variation you prefer. Bring the arms back alongside the sides of the body, I should say. Or you can interlace the fingers and draw the arms long, so you're pulling the shoulder blades closer together as you extend the arms back. And again, whichever position you've come into, tuck the chin to lengthen the back of the neck. And then inhale, skim the nose forward towards the top of your mat. Exhale, lift forehead, chin, chest. Draw back through the arms. Option to also lift the legs. Keep your gaze forwards and down. Just hold for a few breaths here. And then exhaling, just gently release. And as you release, again, just bring the arms forward, fold the arms in front of you, and just allow everything to relax. You can bring your forehead onto your arms, allow the belly to soften. Come back to your diaphragmatic breath and just notice how you feel. Just allow the whole body to soften now. And then from here, if you slide your hands back now so that they come back alongside the chest, we're going to push back through the palms and then sit back towards the heels. So find a nice stretch cat position. Just take a moment to release your lower back. And then from there, if you start to bring the hands back towards the knees, we're going to come up and come back into a seated position. So any seated position of your choice, you could be in a chair, you could be cross-legged, it could be a different position, or you could kneel if you want to. So we're going to practice a mudra now. So it's a Kini mudra. So just take a moment to set yourself up into your chosen position. And we will, of course, come into lying down after this. So you might want to put on an extra layer or put your socks on so you don't disturb yourself. So Hakini mudra. For this mudra, you just simply bring all the pads of the fingers together, including the pads of the thumb. You're coming into that position. And then from there, once you've got that position, so you could bring the hands in front of the heart, or you could rest them in your lap, or you could have the arms just snuggling into the side body, however you'd like to be. Just make sure that you're comfortable, the shoulders are relaxed, and that you can maintain whichever position you choose. And then if you close the eyes, so the breathing for this is on the inhale, the tongue comes to the top palate, so to the gums. And then on the exhale, you're just dropping the tongue back down. So inhaling, the tongue comes to the top palate. And then exhaling, the tongue drops down. So just continue in that way. And then I'll read you a little about the mudra. So the Hakini mudra, so Hakini is the god of the forehead, or the sixth chakra. It says place all the fingertips together. The Hakini mudra can be practiced at any time when you would like to remember something, or when you want to find that red thread again. So we place the fingertips together and then direct the eyes upwards and place the tip of your tongue on the gums while inhaling, and then let the tongue fall again while exhaling. And then if you were doing this as a practice to find something, then you would take a deep breath in. Whatever it was that you wanted should immediately occur to you. It says, moreover, when you must concentrate on something for a longer period of time, or you could use some good ideas, or you want to remember something that you've read, then the mudra can be really useful. So when doing mental work, it says don't cross your feet and sit with your eyes facing west. It says this mudra can do true wonders, and you should always keep it in the back of your mind in case of an emergency. So in terms of science, the finger position has been researched quite well. And it says researchers have determined that it promotes the cooperation between the right and the left brain hemispheres. It's also recommended today in memory training and management courses. It's said to open access to the right hemisphere, which is where the memory is stored. So the mudra also improves and deepens respiration. So quite a lot of benefits. And then, so from there, if you just start to release that mudra now, and then we'll come down onto our mats for the final relaxation. And just take the time to, again, just make sure that you're comfortable, maybe have a drink, and make sure that you're warm. And then we begin this practice of Yoga Nidra just by listening quite attentively to the sounds that you can hear. So the sounds that you can hear nearby, maybe further away. Listening for the farthest sound. Now listen to the sound of your own breath. And now become interested in what you can feel through your sense of touch. And pay attention to the contact between your body and the support upon which you're lying, whatever it is that you're resting upon. And all those points of contact between your body and the support. So paying attention to texture of your clothing or your blankets against your skin, the sensation of breath entering and leaving your body, the cool touch of the inhale and the warmer touch of the exhale. And then become interested in the rhythm of your breath and the sensation of breath rising and falling. And the sensation of the breathing rising and settling. And then visualize the inhale like the sunrise and the exhalation like the sunset, so that you feel it rising and setting with the inhale and the exhale. And now pay attention again to the contact between your body and the earth and your back, and experience the support of the earth as a form of love, as a form of kindness. And welcome into your body the sensations of stability, security, and steadiness, inviting the physical body to embrace these qualities of the earth. And now imagine the body itself as a landscape with mountains and valleys and rivers and streams, so that we can take a journey now around this landscape of the physical body, sacred journey, a pilgrimage, and the awareness moving with reverence around the land of the body, resting briefly at each of the sacred sites. And we start this journey at the center of the forehead, and then travel down into the valley between the two collarbones, the base of the throat, and journeying now out to your left shoulder and all the way down your left arm, moving to the left elbow, and the wrist, and the back of the hand, and to each of the fingers in turn, and then journeying to the left palm, and then back up through the left wrist and elbow, the shoulder, and returning to that little valley between the two collarbones at the base of the throat. Journeying now out to the right shoulder and down the right arm, resting at the right elbow and the wrist, and to the back of the hand, and into each of the fingers of the right hand, coming back to your right palm, back up into the right wrist and the elbow and the shoulder, and returning to that little valley between the collarbones at the base of the throat, at the midline of the landscape of the body. And now continue your journey down that midline of the landscape of the body and settle in behind the breastbone at the center of the chest. And from here, you can look out into the left side of the chest and look out into the right side of the chest and settle again in the center of the chest. And then continue again down the midline of the landscape, the physical body, and settle in behind the navel at the center of the abdomen. And continuing down now to the pubic bone at the center of the pelvis, journeying out now to the left hip and all the way down your left leg, resting at the left knee, the ankle, and onto the top of the foot, and into each of the toes, and in through the sole of the left foot, back up through the left ankle, the knee, the hip, and returning to the midline of the body at the center of the pelvis, and then traveling out to the right hip and all the way down the right leg, and resting at the knee, the ankle, top of the right foot, each of the toes, and in through the sole of the foot, and then back up through the right ankle, the knee, the hip, returning to the midline, the landscape of the physical body, the center of the pelvis. And then letting your awareness settle here for a little while, taking a break on this sacred journey around the landscape of the body. Taking a break by a deep blue lake, and let the awareness settle here as if resting beside a deep blue lake, the deep blue lake of the pelvic space, resting the awareness here. And now continue on your journey back up that center line of the body, and up and in behind the navel, and up and in behind the breastbone. And let your awareness settle a little while here in the center of the chest, as if resting in a wide open plain with green grass as far as the eye can see. A wide open plain of green grass with wide open skies, warm sunshine, and resting here at the heart space. We continue now on our journey up the midline of the body and returning to the little valley at the center of the two collarbones at the base of the throat, and then up to the point, the center of the eyebrows and the forehead. And now, as if ascending a holy mountain, let the awareness come right up to the top of the head, and focus your attention at the top of the head. And from here, as if standing at the top of the highest mountain, take in the whole of the view, the landscape of the physical body, and experience the whole body now as one. All of the parts of the body, the whole body is one. As if you can imagine now this whole resting landscape of the physical body, from the darkness in the middle of the night, and everything is quiet and still. And then as your next breath comes in, it's like the sun coming up over the landscape of the body. And your next breath is like the sunrise, and the body is filled with the light of the rising sun. And as the breath goes out, it's like the sunset, the light dimming. And by the end of the exhalation, the body is back in darkness, as if in the middle of the night. So with each inhalation, there's an experience of light in the whole of the landscape of the body. With each exhalation, there's an experience of that light dimming and coming back to a place of darkness. The inhalation, the sensation and experience of lightness. With the exhalation, the experience of the light fading like a sunset, the meeting place of darkness, the inhalation like a sunrise, the exhalation like a sunset. I invite you now to follow your breath. So the inhale and the exhale are of equal length. The daytime of the breath and the nighttime of the breath are of equal length. The evenness of the inhale and the evenness of the exhale. And now return your awareness to that contact between the body and the earth. And know that this practice will soon be drawing to a close. And return your attention to the center of your chest, this wide open space of the heart. And enjoy a slow and centering breath. As you slowly exhale, have in your heart that all is well. And repeat it a couple of times silently to yourself if you wish. Feeling in your heart that all is well. Now picture yourself in your resting pose. Picture the room that you're in. And feel that contact between your body and the surface upon which you're lying. Feel the touch of your clothing, your coverings against your skin. Feel the breath flowing gently, connecting again with your senses, your sense of smell and taste. Noticing sound close and further away. Sound of your breath. As you slowly bring yourself back to everyday consciousness. At this time of year, it's that time when the seeds are germinating inside the earth. The earth begins to rise, the sap is rising. Start to feel the emergence of the life force. Begin ever so gently to kindle that inner flame. Feel the stirrings of the earth. It's a nice time to plant seeds or bury crystals. And imagine what you wish to grow in your life. You may not be rushing outside just yet, but we can cultivate our own inner radiance. And just starting now to create that gentle movement through your hands, your feet, your fingers, and your toes. Maybe bending your knees if you had your legs extended. And just starting to bring a little bit of gentle movement through the knees. Maybe your knees are moving minutely one way, perhaps your head the other way. Just little movements. And take all the movement now that you need. Any additional stretches. And then once you've moved and you've stretched, you'll start to roll over onto one side, whichever side feels comfortable. So you're just coming into that nice fetal position for the last few moments of relaxation.